Welcome to this week's show of Crazy Gentleman Podcast. I'm your host, Crazy Gentleman, and this week's show is featuring Mike from Finger Fabrication, Finger Mike. And for anyone wondering, he finally tells the story on why it's called Finger Fabrication, because it's only got 9 fucking fingers. Mike is he owns a company. Oh man, I'm gonna fuck this up already. Jesus Christ. Finger Fabrication. He makes awesome tools, dude. I'm out to lunch right now. He makes really cool tools. They're all like molded, 3D printed, or like crafty kind of tools for fabricators and engine builders. The reason I say kind of crafty is like when I think of crafty, he makes this really awesome lifter bleeder, and it's it's a picture of mason jar with a fitting on the top, like on the cover, that you suck vacuum through. So like the whole jar is under vacuum and it's full of oil with the lifters in it, in these like holders where you can like dip the lifters in, and then you suck vacuum out of the bottle and then bleed the lifters that way. It's pretty cool. Cool little contraption. Looks like a science experiment. But anyways, man, he does anything from that to like what he's really known for is like all the caps on your engines. Like for when an engine's just sitting around, make special caps for the exhaust ports, the intake ports, both the manifold or the heads, like the base of the bores if you have your cylinders off, like to cover anything from falling in. The cases. I don't need to run through the fucking guy's catalog. You guys get the point. Go to the website, go to the Instagram, Finger Fabrication. It's fucking awesome. I got a few of his tools. I love them. I can't wait to get more. I don't know what much more to say. A little bit of background, I guess, for Mike. He's one of the greatest, however you guys want to classify him. He's an incredible HD tech, and he's traveled all over the country. He explains a lot of that too. But where he has landed himself now, where he calls home, is I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. Let's call it the right-hand man at Bareknuckle Performance. He is a fabricator. Okay, sorry, that was a YouTube glitch. We're back. He's a fabricator, engine builder, all-around everything guy at Bareknuckle. He is a lot of the work behind some of those cool bikes that Paul, I think it's just really the whole, I think Paul, I guess burst the bubble. Paul is next week's episode, Paul and Sam. And like they explain, really it's just down to Paul, Sam, and Mike. So, Mike's getting it in over at Bareknuckle, man. He's doing the work. He's an FXR guy too. He explains all this. This is a very redundant intro that I'm not in the mood to do. And it's brought to you by Bareknuckle Performance, bareknuckleperformance.com, home of the gold standard in quality American-made parts for your Harley Davidson. Seriously, man, go check it out. They run sales every now and then. They just ran one. I got some new axles and pivot shafts and pretty cool stuff going together for an FXR twin cam that I'm building. You guys know the deal. Bareknuckle, it's the fucking best, dude. 100% made in America, high quality. You get what you pay for. It's as simple as that. Fuck it. Brought to you by Finger Fabrication this week. Seriously though, Finger, man, go over there. Mike's awesome. You're gonna fall in love with him after this episode. And Evan Simbita Custom Knives. Also, heirloom quality American-made knives. Made right there in Nelsonville, Ohio. All 100% by hand, by Evan. Highest quality outdoor knives, man. I don't care who else If I pick up other knife sponsors in the future, that'd be cool. Get at me, whoever's listening. But I think I'm always going to use Evans Knives in the woods, even if it was behind the scenes, you know, just for advertisement. This isn't how you get knife companies to advertise with you. Tell them you're going to use someone else's knives anyway. But whatever. I'll be using Evans Knives forever. They're the best, seriously. Best hunting knives in the world. Lexan-moto.com. Home of the concert inside your helmet. They should start using that too, by the way. I know those guys at Lexan listen. Come on, man. I know you guys are listening. You guys should start using that. It's a concert inside your helmet. Yeah, the new Novus is awesome. I'm gonna do a little video on that. Shit cranks. It's cool. I love the interface. They just don't disappoint, man. I've been using Lexan literally since day one of this podcast, which is 4 years now. I've been using Lexan in my helmet. It's pretty awesome. Go get it. Punch in the code word crazy, 15% off at checkout. And the Bump Shop Diaries, the Michigan Madman, Rodney, Evo Jesus. Get at him. If you want to hit him with a personal message, hit him at Evo Jesus, or the bumpshopbackroom.com. Hit the email. Or the Bump Shop Diaries on Instagram. Either way, it's the only place to get your Crazy Gentleman merch and also support my good friend Rodney in Michigan. Yeah, dude, always the coolest vintage finds and all kinds of cool stuff. And it's looking like I'm gonna be going to Michigan in about 6 or 7 weeks, maybe 8. I'm not good at math. Yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna probably kick the spring off in Michigan. Some really, really cool special guests there. I don't want to give it away, but I'm going to be doing a podcast from a huge old vault in a building that a friend of mine bought. It's going to be rad. I'm going to see, obviously, going to go visit Evo Jesus. I'm going to go visit, quite possibly, I'm going to keep this all under wraps. It's going to be a special trip to Michigan. I promise you guys some good guests. Some unsuspecting guests. Some guests nobody's ever even heard of. And they are absolute Mount Rushmore people in this chopper thing. So, yeah, pretty excited about this Michigan visit coming up soon. Hopefully I'll do it on the Twin Cam FXR, but we'll see. I don't know. Got a lot going on. Anyways, that's enough rambling for this week. This is longer than I even want it to be. It's late as hell. I'm tired. This is the last thing I want to do. But cheers to that. Enjoy this week's show with Mike. This is also one of the Mama Tried shows. This is from the green room at Mama Tried. Quick little context for you, for the YouTube people. And there's one more Mama Tried episode. And then moving on to other greener pastures. Enjoy. See you next week. All right, dude. Let's fucking do this damn thing. All right, we're live at 5, dude. With I don't know if you're the biggest requested person, but I put a thing out on Instagram before I came here.
Oh, really?
And I like never do. I like, who do you guys want to hear? And the top 3 requests was you, Paul, and Chicken Rick.
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's what everyone
I'll take that
wants.
as a compliment.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, so here you guys have it. Mike from Nine Finger is here. Where did the name Nine Finger come from?
So I had about 7 years ago, later this month, I got my finger caught in a big disc sander, yanked the top of my finger off. There's a video on Instagram. I'll repost it on the anniversary.
Really?
But,
how long ago did it happen?
About 7 years ago. 2017. Yeah.
Damn. Let me see it.
It's not. It was pretty gnarly when it happened. And then they
Damn.
so it pulled all the skin.
Is that
and
right
the
at
nail
at
off
that
the
joint?
bone.
Is it just clean at
No,
that joint?
yeah. Well, it's a little bit there, so they couldn't fix the skin,
Uh-huh.
so they just cut the bone off, and then they. It's kind of gross. It healed over,
Yeah.
and like a month later, a little spot popped up, and then all of a sudden the nail grew out.
No way.
So they didn't get all the whatever stem cells or whatever, and it regrew a nail.
So do you
It's
have to actually
super
trim
gross.
that thing?
Yeah.
Holy
Like
shit.
clipper, like
Just throw it on the same
cutters.
grinder that cut it off? What
Dude.
do you say, it was a belt sander?
Like a disc sander, like
Oh,
a plate
yeah.
with a platen, and my finger got sucked down in.
Oh, god
Like that.
damn.
It's pretty gross. I got on video on my security camera in my garage.
Nice.
You see the end of my finger pop up and hit
like
the light.
it shot down and then up again?
Yeah. I'll repost it here in a couple days on the
Holy
27th.
shit, dude. How much blood was coming out of that thing?
It wasn't, so it didn't bleed bad.
Yeah.
I covered it up, obviously, found the finger, threw it in a bag, kept it compressed, all that stuff. Went and woke my wife up and said, "Hey, honey, I hurt my finger pretty bad. I'm going to get stitches."
Was it late night or super early morning?
It was, well, my wife goes to bed at 9 or whatever, so it's probably 10.
Oh, okay. Was she working
And,
night shift or something?
No, she's a mom.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I was out in the garage by myself, obviously, and went and woke her up and drove myself to the hospital. And as soon as they pulled the towel off it, it started spurting, and yeah, it was pretty gross. Filled up one of their irrigation bowls, and I was like, is that a lot of blood? And they're like, no, that's pretty normal. I'm like, all right, not lightheaded yet. So. And then they kept me in the hospital and cut the bone off and sewed it over, and yeah, here we are.
Damn.
And then a guy built an exhaust for us. You need a name. How about 9 Finger Fab? Like, my buddy Phil.
Hell yeah.
It's worked out good.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, I think it's good.
It's better than 9 3/4, is what I tell people.
Yeah, or 10 finger fab.
Right?
Anyone
Sure.
can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's 10 Finger Fab.
Yeah, dude. So, you also work for Bareknuckle,
Yes, sir.
and they're in outside of St. Louis. I don't know how far out. Hawks Point's like an hour or so.
Yeah, it's about 60 miles outside of St. Louis, where I live.
Are you originally a St. Louis guy?
I am. I was born and raised in St. Louis. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. I thought you went to the West Coast for a minute.
So, I grew up in St. Louis, moved to middle of Missouri, flunked out of college twice, went to motorcycle school in Phoenix at MMI back in 98, 99, 2000 in there. And came back home, found a job back in Columbia, of all places, where I didn't want to go. Worked there for 5 years at the dealership, and then moved to Durango and worked in Durango for 2 years. And then moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and worked in Cheyenne for 8 years or something like that until we had my son. And then when we had my son, we moved back to St. Louis. My wife is also from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
She still works at a dealership. I got her into the dealership. She worked motor clothes and has worked her way up to the office and does runs the office at one of the dealerships in St. Louis.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, like, for people that don't know you too, man, like, you're an extensively experienced,
Yeah.
to say the least, Harley mechanic.
So I
Like,
was in a dealership for 22 years.
right.
And then 3 years ago, I quit my job there. Had tool business kind of took off, so that was a little supplemental income. Felt comfortable enough leaving the dealership, and went and worked for Paul. And I'm still with Paul doing fabrication. We do everything. I do everything from motors to oil changes, tires, fabrication, build frames, exhaust, blowers,
Yeah.
all the cool shit, man.
Yo, dude.
Living the dream.
Yeah, you pretty much fucking have to do everything if you're working at a place like that.
Yeah.
Dude, back to the tools, like, all the stuff you make, those block off plates, all that shit. Did you just teach yourself how to fucking 3D print?
Yeah, so
Like,
COVID.
how did that start? Yeah.
during COVID, my son and I got into some just RC crawler stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that stuff, people are 3D printing. I'm like, I taught myself Fusion 360 AutoCAD program, just design stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going to college, I actually had a little like manual drafting experience. I was pre-architecture for a while, and taught myself AutoCAD, and just it's kind of boom from there. Looked for some tools I couldn't find out there.
Yeah.
Number one was the lifter holders, and all the lifter holders to pull your lifters up. None of them were adjustable. And I was like, oh, what if we put a screw here, and then you can make them a little bit longer, they go down further, and you can pull them up. Made that, and all the guys in the shop wanted some, so I made them some. Looking at a motor, and I was the main motor builder in all the shops I've worked at, and tried not to use rags. You shake your rag out, try to find something to put in the cylinder, in place of the cylinder while you're doing piston work. I was like, I can do something, and came up with the crankcase plug. And I think there's a couple other companies that make like a foam one that kind of went in there, but a little bit simpler design and a little bit better design, I think.
Right.
It's kind of boom from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty slick stuff.
Yeah. It's stuff that I've always wanted, that, people in my position kind of, if my thing is I want to look good to my customers, I want people I sell stuff to look good to their customers. And if you have a rag or a dirty shop or whatever it is, when you're building a motor, it's not a good look. Right. If you have something that's purposeful and makes you look like you know what the hell you're doing, whether you do or not, if your customer wants you to work on their bike, they want to come back to you, they want to be your regular. And I had a super good customer base when I was in a dealership, that I was comfortable showing them anything I was doing. There's nothing to hide.
Right. Yeah, if a customer comes and wants to look at an engine, man, it's like, when you see all that cool shit on there, and the shop is clean, blah, blah, blah.
Organized,
Yeah, that goes a long way.
It does.
I mean, it's at least half the battle. Because, like, no matter how good you are, when someone fucking walks into a shop and it just looks like a pile of shit, and, like, there's just dirt all over your engine that you're fucking paying good money for.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't care how good you are, dude. Like, this is not a good look right now,
And, I get a lot of the old-timer comments. Rags always worked, and it is what it is.
Oh,
do it your way, or you can do it a little bit, build it a little bit cleaner.
Right. Yeah, you're always going to have haters, man. Fuck them.
Yeah. Just stay off Facebook and you don't see as many haters.
Yeah. Dude, so that shovel head you built a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Is it a couple years now? Last year.
Well,
how long was that in the works for?
So I've had that bike when I lived in Cheyenne. I bought that bike, and that's the third iteration of that bike.
Okay.
So we got Christian Newman's frame jig, and as part of, you have to assemble for the frame jig, and I talked to Paul. I'm like, well, I'll put it together off time at work, and then we'll do my frame first. So, because I've been wanting to build a chopper, and just bought parts for my own frame jig and never really got around to it. And we saw Newman's, and it's like,
dude, the thing is insane.
It's pretty nice. It's very well organized, and like makes sense, and it works good, obviously.
Yeah,
Paul helped me out with that, and like, let's go.
After using that frame jig, can you even like picture yourself using whatever you were using before?
No.
It's pretty sick, dude.
I've seen some pretty, I'll say janky, but pretty janky setups. It's like, are you sure that's straight?
Yeah.
Bubble levels, and that frame jig is pretty dialed in. There's obviously a ton of checks you still need to do, but they do a really good job.
Right.
He's a smart cookie, for sure.
Yeah. Did you see him here?
I did.
Yeah.
He actually came out to Bareknuckle and was working on some bagger stuff, because we had a frame jig assembled, and obviously FXRs and baggers have the same geometry, so we could pull some measurements off, and hung out with us for a couple days, and came out with the new, like, it's basically the bolt together transmission primary engine that the baggers have.
Yeah, I think he sells it as a separate kit now.
Yeah,
you could get the bagger FXR fixtures or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got your so this bike was in the works for a while. And,
Yeah.
how from when you did that frame, how long was it till you completed it? Did you like just?
Without going back and looking, I think that was early or late 22.
Yeah.
And then finally got the frame done. I got finished the frame while Paul was in Nepal doing with the motorcycle Sherpa,
Mm-hmm.
and then started, tank and fender and all that stuff. And I had parts laying around. Had already gone through the engine. It's got a EV27 cam in the shovel head with a Evo valve train. So it's got Evo lifter blocks, Evo lifters, Evo push rods, Evo rockers. So you have the right geometry for all that. And then it oils through the push rods. Jim sells a similar kit, but you can basically piece it together and do your own setup.
Right. And
then the transmission was already gone through and resealed, and so it was, I'm not going to say all aesthetics, but mainly all aesthetics, just a rebuild. And then, Sean from Imperial House, which is my main man, painted it.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at that paint.
Is he a St. Louis guy too?
He is in Sparta, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
But he's painted two or three bikes that have gone to Yokohama.
Oh shit.
For Moon Eye Show. And then let's see. He did the giveaway bike here for Mama Tried. He did the carbon fiber paint, or the paint on the carbon fiber for that. My bike, and dude, he's a full-time Boeing employee, but he's the best painter I know.
Damn.
Dude, the flame job on that, it's a faded pinstripe. So it's hand done, hand pinstripe flames, but the way he pulls the paint, it goes from a lighter orange to like a darker orange to a lighter tip on the end of the pinstripe. It's crazy.
Huh. Yeah.
It's one of those little details that,
That's some wizard shit.
Yeah, he's good. I've seen some really good pinstripe, but he's the best.
Yeah. Didn't you guys have a hand in that Mama Tried bike too? Didn't you do work? Didn't you work on that thing?
So Bareknuckle rotors, Speed Dealer swing arm, Speed Kings gave a bunch of parts, Revolution, Sawicki, and then I had been talking to Warren off and on. He had asked me, he's known Paul forever, so Paul led him my way about motor questions about building that M8 because he didn't have it really any experience with it. And I'd been talking to him back and forth, and I was like, hey man, if you want any help, let me know. I'd be glad to come up and give you a hand. He's like, yep, you're in. So we scheduled that. And his father, Warren Sr. and I, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I came up and put the bike together and built the motor, and I brought the paint up from Sean. It's a cool bike.
Yeah. Is the engine a ripper or what?
Yeah, it's a 128 and then a full fueling 472 cam and cam chest and all the good stuff. It's one of the best giveaway bikes I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
raffle
insane,
bikes.
dude. Yo, speaking of that too, when you were in MMI in Phoenix, what year was that? Was Twin Cams even out yet?
So, yes, Twin Cam has just come out. So I think it was 99 or 2000. They were in school finally.
Okay.
So the first iteration of the Twin Cam had like the double ball bearing on the cam.
Uh-huh.
So part of my schooling was learning how to do the recall on those. Like they taught me in school how to do the recall on the cam bearings and oil pump and all the little things they had problems with.
Right.
The first generation.
Chain tensioners.
But still did all the Evo and cut my teeth on Evo and shovelhead stuff.
Right. Yeah, I always think of that, guys that started like when it was just Evos or even earlier than that, like I always like asking them like, what the hell did you ever expect like Harley engines turning into what the M8s are now?
Yeah.
Like making the fucking power they make, or like seeing a fucking like a kit at a dealer for like 130 inches. Like
it's crazy.
Fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, from a 80 inch from 74 with early shovel heads to 80 inch, and now they're
Yeah, I always think in my head like guys
Double
that
the
are
size.
new to this, thinking like that's normal.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, that was like an unheard of dream even fucking 5 years ago.
Dude, we were pumped when they came out with the 95 kits for the 88s.
Yeah.
Like a 95 kit making 100 foot-pounds of torque, 110 foot-pounds of torque, you were pumped. And now you put a cam in a M8 and make 130 foot-pounds of torque, 140 foot-pounds of torque. It's crazy.
It's nuts, dude. Mm.
But, you know, there's good and bad with everything. I'm still a pretty, I really like the twin cams still. They're a good motor.
Yeah.
They're kind of a good mix between making power and a little bit slightly less serviceable than the Evos, but way more serviceable than M8 stuff.
Yeah. Do you like M8s?
Yeah.
Overall?
I can.
Okay.
I mean, can't hate on power.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the one thing I think the hardest thing to get over is like, it's just not a simple Evo anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to say it or how you'd slice it, but like,
Look at it.
yeah, it's
You
just
got
like
oil lines and coolant lines and
yeah,
knock sensor and
it's not that simple V-twin anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that's the only knock on it is like, I don't know.
it's a lot more work.
Yeah, it just like loses that edge of like simplicity and I don't know, that cool factor, I guess.
Yeah.
Which really don't mean shit if you know.
Well, you want to build a chopper, right? You want a
Right.
cool looking motor, simple,
Right.
not necessarily points, but pretty, you know, simplistic with wiring and all that stuff. And it's tough to do with an M8. There's more stuff coming out, obviously. There's ignition systems that are simplified, but
Yeah.
we did that bike for Jeff Quilty that we had here last year. That was 12 up in the down tubes and
Yeah.
stock rake, and I forget how far over on the front end, but that was a lot of work hiding all that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of work. I mean, you've got 10 engine sensors or whatever that all come with the ACRs and the, you know, double plugged heads and, like I said, knock sensors, engine temperature sensors, throttle by wire, all that stuff, trying to hide it through the backbone and then come down in one loom and make it look like there's not much going on.
Dude,
It's a
did
lot
you
of
guys
work.
have to fucking extend every one of those wires
Yeah.
that comes through the backbone?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
so we put like a automotive race style plug on it, so it's got one plug for basically the whole engine harness.
Oh, okay.
That's right behind the top engine mount. It's still, that's a tough bike. It was a really tough bike to build. We kept the frame damn near looking stock. So the way I've seen them done, they usually change the neck. They change you know, throw it in the lathe and take off all the mounts. We kept stock box backbone, and then the way the down tubes come up and pull into the neck, we try to keep it as stock as possible.
Right.
And it's pretty close. It looks like a stock frame that has been, you know, literally just pulled.
Yeah, just stretched out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of I always wanted to ask. I guess I'll ask you. Was there ever a talk when you guys were building that bike to do a tank on it
No.
instead of keeping that stock tank?
I mean, we talked about it. Jeff wanted to keep the stock tank.
Okay.
Just he wanted basically what we built him.
Right.
You know, he wanted a stock looking bike that was choppered and still had ABS and still had, you know, all the stuff that sometimes is convenient.
The modern bikes have. Yeah.
And it's literally, it rides like a stock bike. He did, Paul, Darren McCaig, and Jeff and Chuck and a bunch of other guys did a ride this past right before Sturgis and put, you know, 5,000 miles or whatever on it.
Right.
And no problems with that bike at all.
Yeah.
Crazy. Rides stock, it feels stock. It's just taller and tanks kind of in your way.
Yeah, it's fucking badass, but I always looked at it and I was like, man, I always wanted to ask, like, did you guys think about putting a tank on or not or whatever? But you got to do what the customer wants to. You know?
Yeah,
If
sometimes.
the owner wants the fucking stock tank, you got to get the stock tank.
Yeah, that turned into that was another project, is getting the the fuel pump to pick up from the bottom of that tank.
Oh, once it was on angle like
Because
that.
they sit in the belly.
Oh,
on both sides, and it's got a double pickup. So I basically disassembled the fuel pump and got a hose down with the right pickup down in the bottom, what is now the bottom, but the back side of the tank.
Right.
And all works good.
Does it let you get
right,
more gas out of it now per
I would think
per
so.
mileage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really even asked Jeff, but I mean.
You said it fucked with the gas gauge though too.
Oh well, the gas gauge pickup is up front. It's like it'll. I think at 3/4 it reads empty, and then it goes up from there. It goes up a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
He was riding with choppers and petcocks. So.
Yeah.
Darren had a 2.5, 3 gallon tank on his bike. So.
Yeah. What did Paul take on that ride?
Paul took the blue FXR.
Oh, okay.
Shit, the blue.
You guys still have that bike?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He had it for sale for a little bit. I don't know how many hits he had on in the right amount of money.
Yeah. You gotta raffle it, man. Nobody's got 50, 60 grand for a motorcycle, but they got $100 for a raffle ticket. Right. I know it's a very polarizing thing. Some guys hate the raffles, some guys don't. I don't know. I think that's why guys do it. I know that's why I've done them.
I get it.
Like, it's hard to find a guy that's going to pay you 15 or 20 grand for a bike.
Right.
But you can find 200 people with $100,
For sure.
And it works for the buyer and the seller,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it.
And the reason I bring that up, you see, like, I know I'm joking. I'm not, you guys do what you want, but you see a lot of businesses do this now. Like, with brand new engines or wheels, like, just to move fucking engines, like. Not everyone's got $7 grand for an engine, but you can find a lot of people with $50.
Right. If you do the math, they're not. They're not making a ton of money on a lot of that stuff. My problem.
I don't think they are.
My problem with raffles is when you say you present. Okay, there's a lot of FXR raffles right now.
Yeah.
I know someone who just won a bike, and I mean, it's hard to complain when you only spent $30 on a raffle ticket or $50, but. Right. When you get a bike and the first time you ride it, it's puking oil everywhere. It's like the guy raffled off his problem, not something that was presented as a ready to go bike.
Right.
So now whoever won it has to spend, a couple grand to get the thing dialed in and ready.
Right.
It is what it is, and if I want, it's not a big deal for me. For somebody who's can take care of their own shit, but
yeah,
kind of a bummer sometimes to see some of the crap out there.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Rennie does a really good job on his bikes.
There's some raffles out there. You're like, whoa, dude, this thing is fucking wild. Like, that's the other thing. That some of these raffles, they give you an opportunity to get a bike that you could never fucking have.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the only ones I buy. If it's a bike, I look at it and I'm like, dude, I could never have this bike if I had to fucking pay for it.
Right.
So, fuck it. I'll spend.
That's what I'm saying. Rennie at Easy Riders is a buddy of mine. He does a good job on all the bikes they get rid of.
Yeah, he's a big raffle guy. Yeah. I bought a few of his.
Well, he does. He's got some really good raffles.
Yeah, fucking
swing
awesome.
arms, and he does engines and all that stuff. That's pretty legit. I've tried to win a couple of them. But.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's cool. Keeps businesses.
Yeah. How's your raffle going?
It's slow. That's why I threw that Lowrider the Lowrider S in there. I don't know if you saw that. It's like a week ago. I threw in
Pick a bike.
The 2020 Lowrider S. Yeah, pick a bike, FXR4 or the Lowrider. The bottom line, I think, is people just either love or hate those yellow FXR4s.
Yeah.
And I thought people would have a little more love for it, but they didn't. So I was gonna sell the Lowrider anyway in the spring. I was just gonna, sell it normally. But I was like, fuck it, man. Let's get this raffle moving and let the winner pick.
Did it help?
Yeah, it helped a little. Really, what's hurting me is I don't advertise it enough. But I don't know. Hopefully, another month or two, I'll be done and sold out. Whatever.
People's getting that itch.
Even besides the yellow, man, like. I just figured people would fucking jump on an FXR4 with a twin cam in it. Like, I don't know. I was surprised. People just aren't feeling the yellow, dude.
I like that yellow.
I can't even tell you how many messages I've got. Like, it's fucking sick, except it's yellow. I don't know how you feel about yellow, but also there's a lot of guys that, like, their rule is never own or build a yellow bike. I don't know if you've heard this before.
I have.
A lot of guys say that.
Yellow and green.
Yeah, green's another one, I don't give a fuck. I could take it or leave it with the yellow, but green in particular, man, like almost every bike I've ever had is either green or like green
Really?
flames or something. I love green, dude. It's like my favorite fucking color.
Got some green on that chopper.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
green flames.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not bad.
yeah,
I wouldn't do an all green bike.
yeah. You gonna get in on my raffle or what?
I might.
Rennie actually got a ticket in mine.
Did he?
Yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, there's a few FXR guys that jumped in quick
Yeah.
with that before the lowrider was in there, and then a lot of guys jumped in once the lowrider went in. You know, dude, once the lowrider got added, a lot of girls bought tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
What twin cam's in that?
It's a twin cam 88,
Yeah.
and I think it's some sort of high compression piston in there, and I also think it has cams. It's a fucking ripper.
Is it
But the reason I say that is it's got adjustable push rods.
Oh, right.
So I'm thinking someone cammed it. It just sounds like it's cammed, and it fucking shreds, dude. Like, it shreds to the point where I almost wouldn't be surprised if there's like a 95-inch kit on
Yeah,
there.
probably, huh?
I just don't know. But it's, you hear it, man. It cranks like a high compression engine. And when you get going, it fucking rips. But I don't really know.
Is it stock transmission?
Yes, stock
So
5-speed.
Is it a Vulcan plate?
Vulcan plate. Yeah, yeah. And then, like, as for basically the drivetrain, I just bought like that. I put the exhaust on and then rejetted the carb, but it's got a polished 45 on it, Mikuni.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heck yeah.
I don't know. I went through it too. That was another thing. You want to talk about raffle bikes? Obviously, I'm not going to name names, but I can't even tell you how many people told me, like, fuck it, raffle it, whatever. The bike was in need of some repair. I'd owned it for like almost 4, maybe 3 years now. I rode it, whatever. And I just put off some stuff it needed. I put like almost $3,000 into that
Oh,
bike.
really?
Dude. I fucking all new bearings, brakes, tires, fucking rebuilt the whole front end with gold tubes. And like, I mean, I went through the whole fucking bike, dude. It was like down to basically the drivetrain and a frame at one point, and I put those tins on it. The tins that were on it were kind of like, let's call them like a 6 out of 10. I scored these tins that were taken off of an R4, like brand new, and just put away.
Oh, really?
From California. I bought like a lot of FXR shit, FXR4 stuff from this same guy. Whole wiring harness off that bike, the front end, like I bought a lot of shit that I'm putting on another FXR, but that tin set is on this bike, and it is fucking showroom
Side
gorgeous.
covers and everything, yeah.
Yeah, showroom gorgeous, dude. I mean, fucking flawless, like 10 out of 10 paint. And an FXR4 tin set like that ain't fucking cheap, dude. Like,
Yeah, I know.
like
That's for
I
sure.
put a lot of money into that bike right before I raffle it, to raffle it. Like, cause I'm not,
Yeah.
my reputation
That's
is not
right.
worth,
Get rid of your
you
crap,
know, yeah, and
your
you know,
problems.
yeah, and let's face it, man, I'm getting a pretty good number for the raffle, you know, like, I don't know, I couldn't imagine, even in just a sale of a bike, I'm not the kind of guy that just like passes on
Me neither.
a clapped out bike. I can't do
It
it.
can be a problem sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't flip bikes.
Right. And especially for you, you're an official business. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just a guy who does this on the side, like out of my garage, but I still, that's still my name, dude. Like, I mean, at this point, like my name is kind of out there. I don't need it getting dragged through the
Right.
mud, you know?
For sure.
Um,
My problem is the same problem. I don't want someone to have my own, like, all the issues, and that's why I have a hard time flipping bikes, because everything I see is like, oh, this only costs this, you know, this is just, so I end up going through the whole thing. I'm like,
right.
geez,
There goes all your profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's still only worth $3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think guys are good at flipping bikes, or good at not being, it's not to sound bad about it, but they're better at overlooking stuff that isn't necessarily necessary. you know?
Right. Right.
Where, yeah, I've always been a nervous tech, which is a good thing for a technician. You should always be worried about every little thing.
Right.
You know,
Right.
almost to a fault where it can hurt your stomach at night thinking about people leaving on bikes. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, flipping bikes is a tough one, man. Because
Yeah.
like, and I've done it. I'll flip a few bikes here and there, but like, I've also gotten fucked on some flips. Like, you know, you think it's a good deal, and before you know it, like you said, kiss all that profit goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know what headache you're getting from some fucking crackhead on Facebook sometimes.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And then you hear about the guys who are just, yeah, man, guy sold the bike for $1,000 because he couldn't get it started. All I did was put a battery and fired right up.
Yeah.
That's not my luck.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's a killer. Yeah, I've never gotten the crazy crackhead deals. Like, some guys, I don't even know how they do it, dude. They find bikes, like you said, for like $1,000 that need nothing. You know, you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, I comb Facebook pretty good. I'm looking for a Softail right now, an Evo, like 97 through 99 Softail.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit later.
To chop.
Yeah, kind of like what we did for Darren's bike.
Yeah.
And
why do you say 97 and 99?
Well, I like the blade. It's just less age on the bike. Okay. So 94 and later, basically. But
okay.
The newer, the better, up to 99.
Right.
And everybody I hit up, and they all want $5,000 now. I don't know what happened to prices on Softails. It's crazy. Huh. But everybody's got the $3,500 one. Has got, you know, you can tell they tried to chop it. I'm looking for original, nice stuff. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get those deals.
Right.
Can't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nervous. Talk about nerves. Was finishing Darren's bike right before they went on that trip, and he had one valve. I think it's valve stem on the wheel he got that we put on was loose and broke somehow, whether it was cracked or whatever. Yeah.
How does that happen?
That was between St. Louis and Kansas City. He had the valve stem broke on it. I'm like,
that's fucking weird.
Other than that bike was flawless.
Yeah, that's a cool
Pretty good
bike,
feeling.
man.
Yeah, it is a cool bike.
Yeah.
It's a good riding little bike.
That's when you were like, fuck, I gotta get a Softail after you guys finished his?
Yeah, I like it. I like choppers, and hardtails are cool, but I'm 47 and way too much, and it's nice to have a little bit of cushion.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And have a title frame, and you know all the things that go into it.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Makes it. Not that I want to sell it right away, but I would gotta think a little bit about that. You know.
Do you still have your FXR?
I do.
Okay.
Got a 94, and that's got a full twin cam drivetrain that I did back in, I say 2007, 2008.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that, and you did that. Yours is a full drivetrain, right?
Yeah.
Not just the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a kind of one of the better things I've ever run into. The dealership I was working at had I think they had done an engine swap or something. I don't know the whole backstory on the motor, but they had this twin cam sitting on the showroom floor for like all the years I worked there, and had a price tag on it. Well, I made an offer on it after I got my FXR. I'm like going through the motor, and the motor was a little dicey. I'm like, I saw people doing twin cam swaps, and a couple of them, like Chopper Dave, he put one on his blog back in the blog days, and I'm like, that's a twin cam, and kind of figured it out, did a little research, found a little bit more information. Was going to do the Vulcan kit, like what you have, and had that. Made an offer on that motor, priced out a twin cam engine case or a transmission case from the dealership for like $300 at my cost.
And just throw the 5-speed guts in there.
Had take off 5-speed stuff from doing all the 6 speeds for the last 15, 20 years.
Right.
Got the motor, was making, they're like, oh, you can make payments on your AR account. They let us have an AR account, so like $100, $50 a month off my paycheck. The dealership got bought by another company, and somehow and all that.
Yo, just got to interrupt this episode real quick for a quick shout out to Kenny's House of Horsepower. Don't forget to go get your engines to Phoenix, Arizona. Springtime's here. You know you want that pile of shit bike running. Whatever you got, get him that shovel head. You know you got something clapped out. Kenny's the man. Hit him up, dude. Kenny's House of Horsepower on Instagram. That's where you got to reach him. That's it. That's all there is to it. No website. Kenny's House of Horsepower on Instagram for the finest in your high performance And period correct, restored Harley Davidson's. Explode it, dude. Kenny will rebuild it. All right, thanks. Back to our regularly scheduled show.
They wiped out, and I tried to pay on it. They wiped out and forgave everyone's AR account.
Awesome.
So I made like maybe 4 payments on this motor. Got into the motor. It was a brand new 99 first generation dyno motor. Still had the ball bearings, still had the first generation oil pump, but brand freaking new.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Pretty pumped about it. Never had a problem with it. It's a good motor.
Yeah.
Good first generation crank that don't shift or have any problems with. Yeah.
Well, was there better years of those unwelded cranks? Like,
Yeah.
what are the good years?
99, 2000.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 01, 02, but it seems like the very first ones, tolerances were a little bit higher, and they were, until they realized they could slack off a little bit and get away with it.
Gotcha.
Seems like they put them together a little bit tighter.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a feeling. But
Okay.
Those early ones, you never have shift problems. You never have,
How sensitive are the
issues.
later ones to the shift problems?
Seems like 03, 04, they got real bad. 05, 06.
Okay. The reason I ask is I just got a full polished fucking 88, man. But
What year?
it's still got the internal guts. I think all the guts are 02.
Yeah.
I think, if I
Timken
remember
bearing?
correctly. Yeah, I don't know.
So 03 is like
That's when they
this
switched.
dual
to 03.
roller bearing.
I think it's an 02.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that.
They're good.
I gotta look on when I get home. If my memory serves me correct, I think it's an 02, with like all the guts or whatever.
Right.
But it's all brand new. It's all rebuilt, never fired, which was kind of a bonus for me. The polished SNS cases were cool. I don't know. But yeah, that's the only thing I worry about. I'm like, I wonder I never had a fucking crank problem, but I've only owned one other twin cam 88. I don't know. How sensitive are they in general?
Not crazy sensitive.
Like regular riding? Will they shift
Oh,
around?
no.
Okay.
It's more like heavy lugging and heavy downshifts, and you hammer on something,
Right.
That's when it happens. I don't know. There's theories, and I'm sure people know more than I do about it, but it's a lot of primary stuff. I mean, that's, I think, what does it, I'm not saying wheelie popping is a bad thing, but dropping clutches and shocks to a flywheel,
Right.
I would put them on around.
Right.
But, I've had customers who had no idea. There's, old men who all they do is tour on their bikes, and you get a bike in, all of a sudden they're like, it seems like oil pressure's down, whatever. You do oil pressure tests and cut apart the oil filter, and there's metal in there, and do run out. And, they're old babying this bike. You do all the service, They have service contracts where you're doing every oil change every 2,500 miles, and you can get it in, and it's got 20,000 run out on the crank. You're like, yeah, extended service plan and
Damn.
extended warranty. That's
Well, when it does, that was my other question
seems
too.
like later, 06, 07 later
Okay.
stuff.
When they do go though, like, does it wreck other stuff, or like it just sounds like a pile of shit?
No,
Or
oil
what
pressure
what
drop.
happens? Okay.
It'll take out the oil pump. The worst case scenario, you start cracking drive or teeth inside the oil pump.
On
But
the
usually-
cam gears.
No, in the oil pump,
Oil
like
pump
the
gear.
actual oil pump.
Okay.
You lose, so that your flywheel, the pinion is moving not in a concentric, it's starting to wobble out. You lose clearance on the gears, and they start pushing up, start eating into the aluminum of the oil pump body, and then get metal in there and heat, break oil pump gears. That's bad news, and can really fuck up the flywheel.
Right.
It's all driven off the pinion side.
Damn. Okay.
But, I've seen them where they just have run out. You get, increased clearances in the cam plate, which is, bigger clearances, lower oil pressure, and
Will it wreck a motor?
it
That
can.
bad?
It can. Yeah.
Okay. How do you know, like, what's the first early signs?
Oil pressure.
Just the oil pressure. Okay.
A lot of stuff, just check it, you know. Peace of mind. If it's got 15, 20,000 miles, it's a matter of just doing a run-out test, run-out check.
Mm-hmm.
And Harley went from, you know, I think it was 1 to 5,000ths or a low range to up to like 9,000ths run out or something.
Just
acceptable.
Right.
Acceptable measurement. What are you saying here, guy? It's either
yeah.
trying not to cover warranty stuff, or
it's pretty much what they're saying. Like,
sucks.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Send it off and have Dark Horse or
yeah.
A1 Mike or somebody weld them up and never have a problem with them.
Right. Is that what you use? Is that who you use? Is Dark Horse?
We use Dark Horse, and Michael Beeland, A1 Cycles does them for us. Revolution does them now. Just kind of what the customer wants to do and where we're going with top end stuff. And yeah,
cool.
If you're doing different rods and what condition the motor's in, a lot of it. If it's just a safety thing, you can use stock rods and just have it welded up and checked.
Right.
But if it's got problems, you know, get Crillo rods or H-beam style rods. Never have a problem with it.
Hell yeah.
Beat the crap out of it.
Cool, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. I feel like I'm killing. Who's even driving the ship up there right now?
My wife's up there.
Oh.
She's
I
doing
meant
all right.
to ask you that. I'm like, she's walked away from the booth.
She's
who's
good.
running the show?
I brought my wife and my son up here. She's got a price list.
Okay.
My kids run around taking pictures, and my wife went up to the bar with him, and then like everybody at the bar, the door guy or the guy who's checking VIP passes, the bartenders all know my son. So he's been up there getting snacks and liquid death and having fun.
Yeah.
What do you think about that bike we built?
Which one? Oh, the one that's here today?
Yeah.
Woo. God damn, dude. I was telling Paul yesterday, like, I think that thing's gonna go down as like one of those iconic FXRs, man.
It's pretty nice. We're pretty happy with it for sure.
Fucking
There's not a lot.
wild, dude.
Paul keeps on saying there's not a thing I wouldn't change on it. There's a couple little things that I want to do, just little itty bitty things that we didn't get to. Just the way the wiring's held down, just stuff nobody notices that I know that aren't there.
Right.
But other than that, man, it's a nice bike.
Insane.
Yeah.
Dude. It's fucking insane.
Glad we put it off and had everything chrome that we could. It made a difference on that bike.
Yeah.
I'd
imagine that's like it's got to be like the best fucking bike both of you guys, or do you consider it like the best bike you guys have ever built?
Paul's saying
It's
that.
fucking wild.
Definitely the nicest bike I've built.
Right.
You know, it's pretty good. Having put it off, the
It's
little things we
outrageous,
changed.
dude.
Like I did all stainless panels for the battery box and the electrical box, so that the monoshaft sits between them, and sand polished them up, and it's like a mirror inside there, man. It's great. Little stuff like that we were able to do, not having to rush through it.
Right.
Change that bike. You know, you don't notice them because they're done. If we hadn't done them, you'd notice them first off.
Right. It is crazy. You guys were still swinging wrenches like last minute to even get here, right?
Yeah. We knew it was gonna be close, and exhaust was a big thing. Waiting on stuff to come back from Chrome, waiting on mid-control stuff to know where to put the exhaust and just stuff like that. Waiting on Tech Cycle to send us some parts for the belt drive, little stuff like that. It was all lined up. You look at a bike like that, it's been built in my brain at least. Having looked at it, mocked it up, taken it apart once or twice, know what needs to be done. It feels like it's gonna be fine, and it ended up being pretty good.
Right.
Or fine. The exhaust was a big iffy one. We didn't really know what we were gonna do, and we've got the ice mock-up kit. It's like a modular kit for doing exhaust.
So I call them like the exhaust Legos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is, just for visualization, they're great. And I don't know if I was up here helping Warren with the bike, but Paul started mocking up some of that stuff and came up with the design, and transferring that to actual tubing was a challenge, but Turned out great. We've had the Paul machined. The front is stainless, like the front transition into the muffler.
Mm-hmm.
We bought carbon fiber, had the mesh for the inside, and then machined the end cap too. We've had that sitting there, so we kind of knew we were doing a 2-to-1. But having it all come together and like, I mean, if you haven't seen it, take a look. It's pretty tight. Turned out pretty good. It's the best exhaust, best exhaust I've ever built for sure.
Yeah.
It's
It's cooler than fuck, dude. I've never seen one of those superchargers in real life. Dude, when you see it, you're like, it's the size of the engine. It's crazy. Oh my God. I just want to hear it run, man.
Pretty
I want
hot
to hear
rowdy.
that thing fucking whistling.
We get out quick. You're still here. We'll fire it up when we get outside.
Yeah. I'll take you up on that.
Snappy.
Paul was telling me yesterday, he's like, I didn't really plan on riding it too much.
Right.
But he's like, after that test ride, I don't want to stop riding it. He said it's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see.
He said it's fucking awesome.
He's only been in first gear. I took off that night. They did pictures in the morning before we left, before we all started heading up here.
Yeah.
And I was back at home getting my stuff ready, and he threw it in gear and rode it out to wherever. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. Get some miles on it.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's hard bike that is that clean with that much polish and chrome. As much as you want to ride it, man, it turns into a lot of work on the side, keeping that thing clean.
Yeah.
Just road grime.
And I didn't ask him if there's a customer lined up or whatever, but like, I mean, you guys are a business.
Yeah.
I'd assume that eventually the fucking bike is going to have to get sold.
I don't know.
You know?
He says it's a keeper. It's up to him.
Really?
It's his. He paid for the parts. So.
Yeah.
That's one of those bikes. I mean, for what we do, you know, that's what we want to build. Performance choppers, you know.
Yeah.
Performance baggers are cool, and that's, you know, our passion comes from choppers. I mean, that's, you know, I grew up, or cut my teeth on, you know, choppers and OCC and Jesse James and all that stuff. And I like performance baggers. They're easy to ride, and I think that's crescendoed and peaked a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, performance FXRs with M8s and performance choppers, and dude, they're a lot more fun to ride.
Yeah.
They like to be
They're
seen.
usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, FXRs, man, that's the original performance bagger.
It's fun to be seen on that stuff too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good little ego slap.
Yeah, I can't get into the baggers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm saying. I tried, that's the other twin cam I've owned. I had a Road King. I tried it for a year. I can't do it, man. I just hate it. I want something fast, tight, light. Fucking,
with you.
You know, I can't get into them.
I've got a 99 bagger it's got some problems, but
yeah,
I can't find the motivation to get it done. It's been sitting in my garage for 4 years now, just ready, needs some cam work and stuff like that, but I was kind of motivated on it, kind of got a T-bar set up going for it, and just lost a lot of motivation.
Yeah.
I do it, that'll be my son and our commuter, so I can take my kid on the back and nice and comfy seat for him, and so that's good enough motivation, but
hell yeah,
trying to find that passion behind it has been tough.
Yeah, I mean, man, I there's so many times I wish I could get into the bagger thing. It would surely make my life a lot easier. But dude, I'll tell you a funny story. How much I didn't like that bagger. The girl I was with at the time, we went on a 30-day trip around the country, and I didn't like it so much that we took the Dyna on that trip instead of and I left the fucking Road King sitting in my garage. That's how much I didn't like that bike. You know, it wasn't a bad bike. It was such a fucking great bike, but it's just like...
Yeah, I get it.
It just, you know, doesn't pull at my heart, you know?
Your lowrider's got some bags on it. It's kind of a bagger.
Yeah. Oh no, dude. Yeah, so after you guys did that kit, that fucking... I don't know. I still don't know. I should just ask Paul why he doesn't just call it the fucking bare knuckle bag kit.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with the Pioneer Adventure thing, but whatever. Dude, that fucking sealed the deal. When that kit came out, I'll never fucking own a bagger. You don't need one anymore. You don't need one with those things.
They're pretty nice.
Those things hold fucking as much or more than baggers, and they're fucking cooler.
Yeah,
And they're
modular,
just fucking awesome,
come off
dude.
easy, and
Yeah, they're little fucking tables when I'm camping, and
right.
seats, fucking. Dude, I'll never own a bagger. When he came out with that,
you've
done.
got the smaller bags too. They've got the.
I do.
Lichter's got the big bags.
Yeah, what are they? 11 and mine are 9 or something.
I don't even. They're like that.
I think
wide.
yeah, I think mine are 9 inches wide, and the bigger ones are 11 inches wide. Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
If I was, it's funny when I was getting those, I told Paul like I went back and forth with him. If I didn't live in a city or ride in and out of so many cities, I would have went with the wider ones. But like just just rolling in between cars and shit, I wanted, because those bags, the way they are on the lowrider and even on the FXRs, they're like just about 30 inches wide, just shy of.
Yeah.
And generally, I like my bars about 29 to 30 inches wide. So they're
Your
no
feeler gauges.
they're
when you're
no
going through
wider. Yeah, those bags are no wider than anything else on that bike. Whereas if I went with the wider bags, they would have been that thing sticking out.
Yeah.
You know, just a pro tip for anyone looking to order those things. You know, the wider bags are awesome, but if you like to lane split and shit like that, that's why I went with the narrower bags.
Yeah, they're tough on the FXR just because you have the dual shocks. There's no cutout for the shock, but the new Softails and even baggers.
Yeah.
They look good on a bagger. We did one for our friend Hans. He had a 99 Road Glide, the
Right.
CVO Road Glide.
That guy just went to Alaska or something with that, right?
No, that's another guy.
Oh, okay.
I forget his name, though, but he did that big trip.
Yeah.
It's
That
kind
was
of
a cool bagger.
Yeah.
Like, he did some
What's
cool
his name?
shit on that bike.
Yeah. And, but our buddy Hans, it's set up more to keep him off. We did like a Dyna-style rear fender.
Okay.
And it looks dynamite with or without those bags. It turned out
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah.
It's a tough bike.
Yeah. I gotta check that one out.
CVO Road Glide, man. That was my 99 CVO Road Glide. It was my jam. Everything except for the fuel injection on it was great.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when they switched to the good fuel injection, but there were so
2000.
many guys that just ripped that off and carved those bikes.
Or 2002 on the baggers, and everything up to 01 on the baggers was Magneti Morelli. And I've wasted more time on that shit
Yeah.
over the 20 years.
I mean,
more
that's-
time trying to get that shit to idle and not idle up and run good and
That would probably be your suggestion, right? Just carb the fucking thing.
carb it or do, I think Zippers has the Delphi style.
Like a standalone.
Yeah, well, it's basically upgrading everything to the 2002 later style
Okay.
with Thundermax.
Okay.
They work super duper good.
Cool.
Fire up, no problems. Yeah, all the little bullshit problems that annoy the hell out of you are gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been such a fucking dick tease back in the day when people are like, oh, that's awesome, Harleys are fuel injected now. And they're a pile of fucking crap fuel injection.
So the stories I've heard, that's a car system that was adapted to Harley.
Okay. That's what I've always heard.
Because
too.
Magneti Morelli
Yeah.
is like they still do fuel injection stuff. but
Yeah.
It just didn't work good on the V-twin for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that was, the 90s, and I don't think that was even the latest technology when they put that on there.
Right. None of this surprises
Still
me.
have nightmares of that shit.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Want to tell the people where to find you?
You can find me at 9fingerfabrication.com. I've got a big load of different tools and stuff you may or may not need, and then some shifter linkages, adjustable brake linkage for Softails. And then,
Dude, that's a game changer.
they're pretty nice.
I don't have yours, but Chris at FXR Division got
Yeah.
me one. Dude, I thought he installed it and everything. While I was out there, he's like, dude, trust me, you need this. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Fucking, I honestly just thought that it would just
That
be.
shitty
I'm
brakes
like,
can
I'm
do
like,
anything about
yeah,
it.
I'm like, how's it gonna make my fucking? I'm not changing my caliper,
Right.
like, or putting a better rotor. Like, I'm not upgrading anything, dude. That is a fucking game changer. Because those Softail brakes are worthless. The rear brakes on those things.
Right. It's all lever. You're
Worthless.
over the, you don't have any power in your foot when you're so far forward.
Right.
You're like pointing your
Dude,
tail
you
at it.
throw a linkage on there though, it's total game changer.
I'm super duper. So when the Softails first came out and I was in the dealership,
Yeah.
there were certain bikes or certain exhausts you would put on, and the pedal would be sky high.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that originally to drop them down to where they're usable.
Oh.
Now I sell more of them for people with, stock exhaust who just want to bring it back up to get more leverage on it.
Right.
I'm super surprised at how many I've sold. Mine are super simple, just stainless steel, bent steel.
Hind joints.
Yeah, good hind joints. Yeah, no bullshit. Nothing against something that has somebody's big brand on it, but that's not necessarily my style.
Right.
So.
You don't even see the fucking thing anymore.
Right, it's hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Like you said, you brought that up, those linkages, like, because a lot of your other stuff is, for the most part, professional shops. Like, I think a lot of at-home guys just kind of still do the rag thing.
Yeah.
But those linkages, everybody could use those fucking things.
For sure.
They're game changers.
Yeah, and they're, like I said, they're super simple. If you don't want something that has a big logo, if you want a logo, get a different one. But mine are just plain tubing, stainless steel tubing, TIG welded at my house and in my shop. That's
Cool.
simple. I do them for, like I said, the brake linkages for M8 mid controls, and then any shift linkage you want. If you don't see something that I have, you can order one. I'll make custom links. I've got one on a bike for this guy's chopper here that needed a custom linkage for his rear brake, like an actual brake stay linkage.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever. Love doing them. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your block off plates.
Block
Actually,
off
yeah.
plates.
Now that I'm thinking about so many of these tools, even just like, I mean, I have some of them, but like, now that I'm thinking about it, go buy these things, man.
Yeah.
Everybody could use them. The lifter tool, that's a game changer.
Lifter bleeder,
fucking
tool of
lifter
the year
bleeder.
for Cycle Source this year.
Yeah.
Just came out with a, if you do a lot of clutch work, my Clutch Soaker 5000, that was picked, the name was just voted on by my son as the best.
Yeah.
But it organizes your clutch plates when you're pre-soaking them for installation. I sold 3 to Saddlemen Racing Development. I've got a couple guys doing drag racing in all over the Midwest who have bought them. They're super, they just keep shit clean. And
for
the
you
point.
fucking hoarders out there that have engines laying around all over the place like I do, those
Exactly.
plates are fucking pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Instead of the rags. They really are.
For sure.
Yeah.
And anybody has a 94 to 99 Softail for a song, hit me up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you,
Finger
man.
Fab. Thanks, Mike. See ya. See you next week.
Thanks, homeboy.
Yeah, no
That was
problem,
good,
man.
dude. Oh,